I'm Savva Koulouris from Place Estate Agents in Wollongabba. I have been in real estate for 8 years. I'm here to share my real estate journey as a Validum alumni. Before real estate, I was running hospitality venues like cafes and restaurants. I was also studying to be an accountant and got into real estate because it was something I always wanted to do. What attracted me to real estate? I would say it was the fact that every day is different and I could deal with people all day. Having worked as an accountant for a couple of years, sitting behind a desk all day really wasn't the idea of a career I wanted. And the idea of being able to see people constantly, every day is different, and just a genuine love for home and architecture, that's what attracted me to it. I've been in real estate for just under 8 years now, been involved in approximately 350 property sales, and last financial year we transacted approximately 40 sales in the Brisbane market. My first year in real estate, I will say, was rough. I had no idea what I was doing. My biggest advice to someone is to link up with an agent that is successful in the area you would like to sell in, and that was Dennis Nizar for me. I worked with Dennis for 2.5 years, and the biggest advice I could give is just be a sponge to that person because you will learn a lot in terms of dialogue and how to sell property. My least favourite part of being a real estate agent, I would say, is the work-life balance. You do sacrifice a lot of time with your loved ones. I love what I do, and the benefits out of the industry outweigh that for me. My real estate superpower, as cliche as this would sound, is being genuine and transparent. It goes a long way in this business. Our specialty has become selling whole unit blocks and multi-res sales. I genuinely think it comes from my accounting background and being able to be good with numbers and having information like capital gains tax or how you structure a purchase like that, as well as calculating yields. So that's something that we've really become quite involved in. What do I do to keep up with market trends? I would say the biggest thing you need to be in real estate is creative, and you do need to be constantly evolving with the market. Things are changing constantly, as well as knowing your statistics, knowing what is sold, knowing what's coming on, knowing the increases in just even land value. It does need to be something that you need to be looking at every day. My favorite success story would have been just after I did my full real estate license with Validum. I became a contractor, and I was going into a listing presentation where I was overthinking the whole thing because it was my biggest ever presentation I had done to date, and I was going up against some very, very successful agents. And just before I went in there, I just took a deep breath and had a conversation and just asked the owners a lot of questions and gave them the same presentation I would someone that was selling a $200,000 property. And they called me that afternoon and said, "We love how genuine you were, you cared about what we're doing, and we want to give you the business." And we sold the property for $4.7 million. Marketing strategies that we use in the marketplace are simple. We have quality photography, we have signage, we don't do anything over the top or that's not necessary. We're there to showcase the property and the property only, and that's our biggest goal. For instance, something we do in our multi-res perspective is we conduct a 30-page information memorandum that has every single piece of detail that buyer will need to understand the value of that property. So it's something that we put a lot of effort and we're quite proud of to showcase the property. How do I price properties competitively? I would say no property is the same. You need to conduct research. That's the biggest thing. So seeing what is sold in the market as of recently, and sometimes that data isn't available and you need to call around different agents to ask what a property sold for, so you can go into a property presentation and understand the value of the property. Understanding the land value, how much construction would cost to replace the property. There's a range of different items to go through to understand the value, but the biggest thing for me is knowing the data that has transacted in the past 3 to 6 months. That's fresh data for that particular area. Understanding my clients' needs and wants is really important, and the biggest way I can ascertain what they're doing is asking questions and actually caring about what their next steps in life are, because this is what we're doing here. We're helping people go to their next stage in life, whether that's upsizing, downsizing, or sea change, or completely different reasons. It is understanding and having those conversations with them and being a person before you're a real estate agent. How do we handle negotiations for our clients? I think the biggest part of it is understanding that the seller is your client and you're working with their best interests, but obviously being respectful to the purchasers as well. We recently had a negotiation where we were a significant amount away from each other, and it just took nurturing my client and nurturing my purchasers in order for them to understand, and giving them market feedback as to what the properties in the area had been selling for, in order for a deal to come together. What sets me apart from other agents? I genuinely do think it is about being transparent and being a genuine person. A lot of my clients are referral based or repeat clients, and it is a feedback that we get quite often that the service we provide, the principles and the strategies that we have put in place it's proof in the pudding in order to transact property. How do I handle difficult conversations and conflicts that do come up? Probably going back to the fact that our seller is our client, and emotions do run in this industry, especially when they're selling their greatest asset. They're moving on from a family home, or there's memories or something there. And I think it does come back to that genuine approach, letting that person cool down and understand and have a think about it for themselves, and also doing the same myself. If a conversation needs to be had with a client, I like to run on it head on. I don't want to sit on it and dwell on it all day and work up the courage to call someone. Deal with it straight away, have that conversation, and let your client mull it over. The process of listing and selling with myself and my team is something I'm quite proud of. Everything is laid out from the outset, who you'll be talking to, who does what. Piper, my assistant, is your point of contact for everything admin. From the get-go, you get requested documents that we need from you, what the timeline looks like, and as soon as you're on the market, we have a group chat between my team and the clients, and it's something that we talk about constantly, and we can all talk in the one space. And then my goal is my client never wondering what's going on with their property. So daily communication. If a client doesn't want that daily communication, it's up to them. However, my goal is to keep them as up to date as possible, so then when they get to the end of the transaction, they know exactly what has happened throughout the whole campaign. I'm a big believer that you're as successful as the people around you. And in my opinion, organisations like, for instance, Place, who I've been with for 8 years, has really helped me shape my career, as well as Validum Institute, when I did do my full real estate licence, gave me a different understanding of real estate and conducting a real estate business. So those types of organisations are who I believe build a successful career. The thing I love most about being a real estate agent is the fact that I can leave the house every morning and not know what my day looks like, and come home and it looks completely different to what I thought it would. The fact that we can be in beautiful houses all day, speak to really good people constantly, and being able to be involved in someone's biggest transaction and see a smile on their face at the end of it and know that you were part of that and part of the success for them. I think it is important to adapt your conversation based on the type of person you are talking to and where they are on their real estate journey. Sometimes I think some of us forget that someone may have not sold a property for 40 years and doesn't know the process of selling or buying, or a first home buyer who has never bought a property before, has never been involved in a real estate transaction. So being able to help them and essentially, guide them through the process in order to get a beneficial outcome for everyone. Social media has become a huge impact and tool in real estate. It is something that is constantly evolving, so is technology. And as what I like to think, young real estate agent, we do need to keep adapting and working with that. It's something that needs to be consistent, and posts need to be 3-5 times a week to keep that relevance out there, and understanding what your database or your clientele is looking for. And I think that's really important. Coming to Validum Institute to do my full real estate license was a great decision. I learnt a lot, having already worked in the industry for 4 years at that point, on how to run an actual real estate business, because the person who was training me in that session was a business owner and real estate agent in the past. And that's something that I haven't learnt before, and I don't think I would have anywhere else, based on the fact that it is something to teach you on how to run a business in real estate specifically, because my accounting degree didn't even give me that.